When I first decided to upload a video every week, I worried that among other things, finding enough ideas to keep me going would bring an early end to my goal. I soon found out that time management, not lack of ideas, would be the biggest challenge. So from my experience, here are the secrets behind good ideas. Well, I guess good is objective, but... The ability to have an original idea. That's what makes the human race really special. I use the word original here lightly because I've heard other creatives say that nothing is truly 100% original. But it wasn't until I started studying the learning sciences that I uncovered more about where ideas really come from. Whether your next idea will be what to draw, write, craft, carve, make, bake, how to organize your closet, the next project to do at work, we all have ideas. At a fundamental level, may I suggest that having good ideas are a byproduct of learning which takes place in all sorts of ways. This may happen during a conversation, when you're trying something new, when you're seeing something new, or maybe out of nowhere when you're doing nothing. But let's be honest, whoever actually does nothing? Maybe I should get into Tai Chi. Not relevant. Okay, back to the story. Let me explain with a little bit of science, if you don't mind, why all of the aforementioned situations involve learning. Enter constructivism. The basic tenet of constructivism is that knowledge is constructed, not transmitted. In other words, learning isn't like pouring knowledge from a teacher to a learner and done. Rather, it's more like sharing a blueprint with a learner. Now, it might seem that this no pure transfer of knowledge is some sort of weakness that the human race endures, while a more advanced being, or even a computer, can transfer information from one to another lickety-split. But actually, I think it's a strength. Enter ideas. Oh, good. It's not a tractor this time. All right, now that gag's out of the way. So as we construct our own knowledge, we do so through pre-existing conditions. Maybe your foundation soil is a little bit rocky, or maybe you like to use hammers instead of a good old-fashioned nail gun. Perhaps you live in a more tropical environment. No matter what, incoming knowledge will take shape in a new environment than it did in the mind of the teacher or anybody else, because you have different life experience. So what's the point? Here are some examples that I will relate to video ideas that I have had, but for you, it could be anything. Who knows? The sky's the limit, or actually outer space is the limit. There's no limits. Why would the sky be that? Number one, as I have already alluded to, your background gives you motivation to use incoming ideas in novel ways. Take this video, for example. I am one among many students who have taken a learning theory class, but it was my experience with video production and my interest in where ideas come from that provided a landscape for the idea and thus creation of this video that you are watching right now. A new idea. Number two, what you do with and how you engage with incoming knowledge provides opportunities for novel ideas. Hearing about something often isn't enough to get that knowledge house fully built. My sophomore year at college, my friends tried to get me to go rock climbing, and I straight up told them no a few times, probably gave some lame excuses. Sorry about that. They told me it was fun. They were like, here's a blueprint for some knowledge to build a fun house, if you know what I mean. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. So obviously their knowledge of rock climbing is fun didn't immediately transfer to me just because they said so. And that makes sense. Well, it wasn't until I started climbing that rock wall that I began building that knowledge house in my mind. Rock climbing is fun. I don't do it a lot, but it's fun. Number three, recall and the way you think about existing knowledge can generate novel ideas. To touch briefly on the sciences, when you think about something, you don't pour long-term memory directly back into your working memory, like so. Oh, I remember this thing that happened to me. Rather, you reconstruct it from memory traces, or the tidbits that are more relevant and meaningful to you. Here is a little bit of an embarrassing example. My wife's family has a neighbor named Mac. One day I asked her, Tessa, your mom's neighbor's kid, his name was Truck, right? Okay, so I knew that wasn't his name for obvious reasons. But subconsciously, my mind knew that a Mack was a semi, a brand of semi, which is also a truck, and that was the first word that came to my mind, even though his name could not have been Truck. So new idea. Name your kid Truck. Or don't. probably don't do that. Now that's a bit of a weird example, but many of my video ideas come to me as I recall old memories. An obvious example would be my dancing video, which came from a interesting experience from high school. Maybe I should tell you about that experience someday, which is another example of me having an idea from thinking about experience, or aka recall. So there's some science for you. What you know, what you think about what you know, and what you do about what you know can all influence you to have new ideas. Arguably, everything that finds its way inside your head is not inherently yours. It came from the world around you or from the people that came before you. So if a good idea comes your way, show your gratitude and do something about it. Maybe write it down, especially write it down, because if you don't, you may very well forget about it and it'll be gone as soon as it came. I speak from experience. Many times anyway. So imagine what can happen when multiple people get together and share their interests and ideas and knowledge and generate more ideas from talking to each other. I'm working on a video for specific things you can do to get good ideas because I was curious, and that's one of the ideas. Meeting and talking to new people. I'll link to that video as soon as it's ready if you're interested. But in the meantime, remember how great it is that you are capable of good ideas. And please, remember to smile. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up so that I know what kind of content you like. If you're interested to see that next video or anything else I do here on my channel, subscribe and hit the bell notification so you don't miss it. And as always, I love to hear your thoughts down below. You guys are great. Please have a good day, and I will see you next time.